How's it going, guys? JP back at you once again for another MMA video. This time it's going to be my review slash recap slash results video for UFC 170, Ronda Rousey versus Sarah McMahon. And first off, let me say my record. I went 4-2, which isn't so great, but my overall record for this year is 7-4, which is also not that great. So hopefully we can bring it up a little bit and get some better predictions going. My overall thoughts on the card, I thought it was okay. It didn't blow me away. I thought the prelims were mediocre. The main card was fun, but nothing really, stood out as, pay-per-view worthy. I mean, it was a lower tier pay-per-view card. I mean, it was probably just under what I would consider getting my money's worth. So just right under that. It still wasn't bad, but it could have been a lot better. Yeah, so the prelims, Eric Koch, that was a decent fight from what I remember. Eric Koch looked really good back at lightweight. He got the KO. I thought that was a, standout fight. And then we moved to the ones that I actually predicted. Women's bantamweight, Alexis Davis versus Jessica Eye. Now, I actually did score. I picked Jessica Eye, and I could be a little biased, but I'm pretty good at, being fair with myself, and I honestly thought that Jessica Eye won the fight. I thought that her speed and boxing and in and out quickness was really effective against Alexis Davis. I think in the second round, Alexis Davis being able to get Jessica Eye down, that was pretty much all Alexis Davis. But I thought the first round was pretty close, but I definitely thought that Jessica did enough to win the round. And then the third round, I thought that Jessica was landing a lot more. Her head movement looked a lot better. The straight up boxing style that she used, that classic throwback boxing style, I thought she was using it effectively, very fast and in and out. Alexis also threw in some decent combinations and stuff, but I honestly had it scored for Eye, along with one of the other judges. Alexis Davis won by split decision. So I wasn't too bummed out about my pick there because it could have went either way. Can't really, I can see a case for Alexis Davis, but I really did have it scored for Eye. Then we move on to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Robert Whittaker, and this fight was going how I expected. Whittaker is very well rounded. I think that he was using his, using distance well, and coming in and being very methodical about his approach with Wonderboy. But Wonderboy was just, a higher caliber opponent, and he was just more explosive, and he was more willing to be, willing to kind of dictate the pace a little bit more. Whittaker was more willing to counter, and Wonderboy was more willing to push the pace and come in and strike. And he was just more explosive and more unpredictable, kind of unorthodox. He was just really, looked very loose, and ended up catching Whittaker, and it was pretty much a wrap from there. So mad props to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Definitely going to have my eyes on him for a little while. Whittaker, I really do think he still has a lot of potential. Hopefully he gets, a few more fights in the UFC, because I really do enjoy his fighting style. I think he's, very well-rounded and stuff, and would like to see him fight some more in the UFC. Then we have veteran Mike Pyle versus TJ Waldberger. I got this one right. The rest of the fights on the card I got right. So I lost the Alexis Davis fight, Jessica Eye, and then the Stephen Wonderboy and Robert Whittaker fight. Mike Pyle, man, he's a crafty veteran, throwing some, crafty veteran style, spinning back elbows, and just, I think this was just a case where he had more experience, and he just was the more experienced veteran fighter. He played a smart fight. He didn't get tagged up too much, and I was glad to see him get a win. It was a good fight. Mike Powell won by KO in the third round. After that, we have welterweights Rory McDonald versus Damian Maia. The first round, Damian Maia gets that takedown, holds Rory down for most of the fight, and even drops some heavy ground and pound on him. Rory then regroups in the second round, shrugs off a lot of Maia's takedowns, which made Rory look instantly good and made Maia probably a little worried that he might not be able to get the fight back to the ground. Rory did a great job, shrugging off the takedowns and then landing shots. I thought that this is the Rory that I've been wanting to see again. Very entertaining fight. I really enjoyed seeing Rory less patient, less passive, and definitely more trying to win the fight. So that was a good fight. There was a brief point in the third round where Maia did get another takedown, and I was really worried that if Rory could not get back to his feet, that he was going to lose the fight, and he did get back to his feet, and he did end up winning the decision, 29-28. Props to Rory McDonald. I think he's back on track again. I say maybe give him Jake Shields or somebody like that. After that, we have, or maybe even Carlos Condit. Let's do the Carlos Condit rematch. After that, we have Daniel Cormier versus Patrick Cummings. This is, of course, everybody saw this coming. DC wins by TKO against a underexperienced Patrick Cummings who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So DC, we need to get him in there against a legit opponent. We need to get him in there with a Phil Davis, or if Rumble Johnson beats Phil Davis, get him in there against Rumble Johnson. I know Evans is going to be out for a while, so I doubt that'll happen. But he needs to fight somebody of significance. Maybe even if Teixeira loses against Jones, which most people think he will, maybe have that fight while the Jones-Gustafsson 2 fight's going on. We got to have DC against somebody who he can, who's a legitimate threat. Which Rashad Evans would have been perfect. I would love to see Phil Davis versus Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier isn't super young. He doesn't have a huge window of opportunity, so I really would like to see the ball get rolling on DC and see what he can do, because I really hope that we can make this Jones Cormier fight happen eventually, and I really want it to be happening when Cormier has proven himself. I don't want him to just, he's done a lot so far, but we have not seen him against a top level light heavyweight yet. Frank Mir at heavyweight. We need to see him against more, in the top 5 division type guys. So yeah, going on to the main event, Ronda Rousey versus Sarah McMahon for a 1-round fight. It was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed the fight. God damn it, man, Rousey. I don't know what you do with her next. She hit her with a liver shot, and I do think it was an early stoppage. Just look at the Travis Brown fight as an example, but it did look like when Sarah dropped that she almost looked away and was waiting for it to be stopped. So I'm not sure if she, I think that she could have stuck in there, and it's up to her, I guess. I don't know how she was feeling, but it looked like she could have stuck in there a little bit longer and maybe got back to her feet. I know a liver shot will just drop you no matter what if you get hit that hard, but it's all about how fast you can then recover from it. So yeah, I honestly was a little bummed that it was stopped so soon, because I liked the way it was going. It was mostly a striking match. I didn't really understand. I thought, sometimes I just think Rousey's opponents don't do. I just wish they would just try to stay out of the whole clinching game period, and just try to every time they get in that phone book phone booth size area, they instantly, it usually goes bad for them. So I would really like to see an opponent just kind of stay on the outside and pick her apart with the jab or whatever. It's rough though. I mean, Rousey's fucking good as hell. I don't know what you do next. I mean, the Cyborg fight definitely is the most interesting fight. Who knows if that'll happen. I know Cyborg needs to make the weight in Invicta. She needs to just, try the 135 pounds in Invicta. And if she makes the weight, I could see that fight happening. But it needs to happen soon. Other than that, Kat Zingano, I thought that was the most interesting fight even before the Sarah McMahon fight, even before the Miesha Tate fight. I think Kat Zingano is pretty good. Alexis Davis, I'm not really that interested in the fight. I don't see Alexis Davis really being able to do anything against Rousey, really. So yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of fights out there right now that I could think of. I actually would like to see a Sarah McMahon rematch. I want to see Sarah McMahon go out and fight, 2 or 3 more people in the women's division in the UFC and come back and get another shot, because I think that'd be a good fight if, she had a little bit more experience. Because I think a lot of people agree that maybe they kind of put her into it too fast. Holly Holm also, I would like to see her in the UFC, but she definitely needs a good bit more fights before she's ready to fight Rousey. But that's one that I think could be really entertaining. So, with that said, that's my prediction results video. So, I didn't do too great this time, but I think I didn't do too bad either. So, see you guys next time. Peace.